Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Connor Williams, and this is the Blackpool versus Everton, basically match review, match report, if you will. Finished 4-2 to Everton against the Seasiders, the Tangerines, whatever you want to call them. Interesting game. Obviously, you could watch it through the Everton's website if you remember, or something, or if you remember, or season ticket holder, and Everton also were showing the goals on Twitter as well. The goals we scored anyway. I'll go through a couple of key points. Man of the match, we ran it on the Toffee Blues. I'll read that out a little bit later as well to finish on who's the man of the match for them, and who I think as well. But I think what I think will probably be the same as what the majority are going for. It started off really, really well. The first half, I think we were like dominant in the way that we had a lot of possession. We kept the ball well. I feel like we didn't create, and this is overall as well. But I'll get into overall as well later. Just to round it all up nicely, I don't think we created as much for the amount of possession we had. But we know creativity is a problem in this squad, don't we? This isn't something new to us, so there's no shock there. The first half, our first goal, which was scored by Mykolenko, was really, really nice. Him and Patterson all game, but especially in the first half, we're finding so much space down the flanks. Blackpool were playing a 4 at the back against our flanked midfielders. There were 2 of them on Rondon, leaving them really outnumbered on the flanks. Mykolenko and Patterson, I thought, got a lot of time down the right and left hand side. It was a nice cross in, and it was a nice sweet finish by Mykolenko. Really good. He has proven that he can score goals already. Hopefully, that's something that carries on with him. If that's how Frank Lampard is going to play out the season, which I think it is, because that's the setup we've been running for the pre-seasons, it could allow Mykolenko a lot more freedom going forward, something that originally people, myself included, were a bit dubious about his ability going forward. But like I've said on the channel, and many others of the lads have that have spoke on here, when you've got Leighton Baines and Ashley Cole in the back room in the coaching staff, 2 of the best English left backs in my lifetime, you've got to improve going forward with those 2. Really good to see Mykolenko get on the score sheet. Then Tom Davies as well for this goal. I actually thought Rondon was offside, but apparently, and I was watching the Everton one, so I think it was they had Darren Griffiths and Snods on, and they thought he was offside as well. But apparently the linesman said no, one of the Blackpool players must have been off camera, looked to be playing him on, because he had the acres of space, Rondon, and he ran, crossed it in. Tom Davies right there, 6-yard box, bang, point blank header, goal. Really good to see Tom Davies get on the score sheet as well. I'm hoping this season will be one of those seasons for him where we can finally cement something about him, what his best position is, what his best role is, and hopefully he just kicks on, because he's another player that I think you want him to do well, but you do get to the point where it's like, what's going to happen here? What's happening with him? So I hope he kicks on. Then they scored. This one, I think, is down to Jordan Pickford, which hurts to say, because he's had a great season last season and he's a fantastic keeper. I think the save was far too complicated, the original save, more for the cameras type save. Ball bobbles then down, and Gary Medine is just there to header it in. I think he headers it anyway, if I remember rightly, but could have just got any part of his body on it. It just needed touching over the line. So that was quite infuriating. That was towards the end of the first half. I thought at that point we looked like we'd let our foot off the gas a little bit, and half-time was, the old cliche, but half-time was needed. Coming out of half-time, that first 10-15 minutes was absolutely mental. Dele Alli getting on the score sheet, a man that has been criticised sometimes, and I will say this: in the first half, I didn't think he performed very well. Tried a lot of things, nothing was coming off. There was one point where he tried to get in the box, needed that one last ball to Rondon that was blocked, but it was nice, fancy feet for him before he just couldn't get the final bit off, which is what I was saying. There was a lot of time where I just thought things just aren't coming off for him, which sometimes happens in football. Sometimes stuff just doesn't come off, and it's a shame. But yeah, his goal, it was sort of fired across, went out to the left. I believe it was Mykolenko, then swung it straight back in, real point blank range cross, the 6-yard box once again. And Dele Alli just needed to get a leg on it, which he did. Wanted it more than the defender. Hungry, great anticipation, great instinct for the goal. Very well played. Then they score as well through a header from a corner. Yeah, set pieces have been a problem, a thorn in our side for a long time. Dating back to the Marco Silva era, we had it under control a little bit better under Ancelotti. But then we've reverted back to it now, where every corner or free kick has that worrying feeling of it might lead to a goal. So that's something we need to be careful of. If I was Thomas Tuchel or any football manager in the Premier League, I'd be saying to everyone, listen, corners is where we're going to get these. Let's try and play for set pieces, try and play for the corners as much as you can, because I think they're susceptible from it, which is a bit crazy when you think Yerry Mina played today and James Tarkowski, both big lads. Yeah, I don't know what it is with us in set pieces. But then finally, Dele Alli got his second goal to make it 4 for Everton, 4-2 overall. A cross came in from the right. Again, Dele Alli just wanted it that little bit more. Instinct, stuck his foot out enough to put it past the keeper. It's really good to see Dele Alli get amongst the goals. I'm hoping this season we see a lot from him. I think he sort of played up top with Rondon a little bit in the 3-5-2. I quite like it. I think it allows, unlike having 2 out-and-out strikers, because he's a midfielder / shadow striker, he drops a little bit deeper, can get goals, can be creative, but he also just acts as that link between the midfield and the strikers. That's a long gap between those two, and it can be a lonely place and hard to sort of bridge the gap. But he could be that bridge, so it was good to see. If we don't get another striker, which we're obviously in the window for, maybe that is where we should be playing Dele Alli up front with Calvert-Lewin, or so he could just drop off that little bit deeper. That's if we don't get a striker, which I don't know what's going to happen with that. We'll have to wait and see. We're after Broja and Scamacca. Scamacca looks like he's going to West Ham now, which leaves Broja wide open, but I don't know if we should be spending over 30 million on him. But anyway, that's probably for a news video in the week. Yeah. Overall, I thought the second half was a lot better from us. We definitely needed that half time, give them a little bit of a kick up the backside. It was, what can you say? People say it's pre-season, it's only a pre-season game, and it's only Blackpool, etc., which is why I'm not going OTT over it. But also, to be fair, the same people who go, oh, yeah, don't get carried away, it's only a pre-season, it's only Blackpool, their heads would have fully fell off if we'd lost. Like, it's great to say that when you win, oh, it's only pre-season, don't get excited. But if we'd have lost, I guarantee heads would have rolled everywhere. And it was, we really did need to not lose. It sounds silly to say, that a pre-season game was must not lose, but this really was, because of I just think, agitation around the club at the minute, around, what's going on, the feeling in the fans. I thought really could do with winning this. And we did. I thought Patterson played really well. I thought Mykolenko played really well. I thought Dele Alli played well as well. Tarkowski played well. Really good player. Very happy that we've got him. Especially on a free, he's just a leader, big unit of a man. Fantastic. Like I said, we did do a who's your man of the match on the Toffee Blues. So far, I think it's like 215 of you have voted on it. So I'll get the results up now. I personally, without seeing it first, think it's between the 2 fullbacks. Maybe Dele Alli, because he got the 2 goals, but like if he hadn't got those 2 goals, I'd have said one of the 2 fullbacks. Right, so it's up here. 915 of you have voted. It's open for 38 more minutes. Vitali Mykolenko is fourth with 17% of the votes, followed by Dele Alli in third with 22% of the votes. Then James Tarkowski with 26%, and then leading the line with 35% of the votes is Nathan Patterson. Did play really well. Great to see Patterson get game time. A lot of us were sort of, and like when he wasn't being played, a lot of us were frustrated. Why wasn't he getting played? Then he obviously got his injury as well. I hope he can kick on. He seems like he could be a very good player once he bulks out a little bit more as well. And we got to see some of the younger lads get some game time, which is great as well. Dobbin got a bit of, about 5 minutes. Stanley Mills, who people are raving about and quite like the look of. Warrington got some game time. Another player that everyone's sort of hoping will do well, Lewis Warrington. Welch and Price came on as well. They all came on in like the 79th minute, which is fantastic to see as well. I think it was the right move. Get your sort of goals in. Iwobi came on as well. Get your goals in, get your goals done, lead the line, and then put some of the kids on for youth and just for game time experience. But yeah, guys, overall, yeah, you can't complain, can you? 4-2, decent enough. I know people say it's only pre-season. I'm not going OTT and going, that's it, we're going to do something this season. But it was a game that, like, it does seem really silly to say it, and I know somebody will say it's a silly thing to say, but it did feel like a must-win just because of the way the sort of atmosphere is at the minute. And like I said, the people going, it was only pre-season, seems a bit silly to even say that. Heads would have rolled right off if we'd have lost that. If they'd have beat us 3-0, I'd have probably not gone on Twitter for about a week because it'd have been absolutely head rolling, everything. But alas, we won. Good feeling. We can sort of enjoy the rest of our Sundays now. And then hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we see some movement in the window, because I do think there are a number of positions that we need and a number of players we need coming into that squad. But don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and comment down below your thoughts on the game as well. Let me know if you watched it, who your man of the match was. I'm interested to read them all, and I'll see you guys very soon.